Hey everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant, and in this upsell guide, you're going to learn a simple upsell formula to come up with a ton of upsell ideas for your funnels. Timestamp table of contents in the description, along with some other helpful links to putting together the rest of your sales funnel. Now, there are a couple keys to success before we dive into the formula and some concrete examples of what types of upsells you can put together. Let's go ahead and go through some upsell math to show why on earth upsells are such a good use of your time as you build your funnel. So let's say you have a front-end product that's only $25 and you have 10 sales. Well, $25 product, 10 sales, your average transaction value is going to be $25. Now, if we add some upsells to it, you'll see how the math changes dramatically. Let's say we add one upsell that's $50 and another one that's $200. And 1 out of 3 people take us up on the 50, and 1 out of 10 take us up on the 200. Well, all of a sudden, our average transaction value for those same 10 people has gone from $25 all the way up to $60. And this is the real power of upsells and why you absolutely should be adding them to all of your funnels, because it's going to allow you to drive more revenue with the same amount of customers and the same amount of initial sales. Now, when it comes to crafting an upsell offer, there are two very, very important keys to success. And the very first key is making sure that your upsell offer is in fact independent of your primary offer. So whatever you're offering on the front end, you want to make sure that it stands alone. And when someone's looking at your upsell offer, whether it's a physical product, a digital product, an additional service, they don't get the sense that they have to purchase this in order to make the first thing they purchase work. Now, it's okay if this upsell makes this first thing work better, faster, easier, stronger. That's okay, but this still needs to work, your core product, without someone having to purchase your upsell. Now, the next key to success when it comes to your upsell offers is making sure that they are in fact distinct. Because what you don't want to have happen, with the exception of one type of upsell, is someone purchases your product and then they see an upsell and it looks like they do the same thing, just maybe in a slightly different way. So we want to make sure that your upsell is independent, where there's not a dependency upon buying the upsell in order for your main product to work. And we want to make sure that they are in fact distinct, so it's clear this product stands on its own and this product stands on its own. So when it comes to creating your upsells, there's a very simple formula that you want to follow to make sure that you're offering something that is going to be perceived as valuable, independent, and distinct. And it's a very, very simple formula. Of course, you can branch out, but let's just start with this. And the formula is time minus work. So if you can deliver the result faster with less work, keyword being less work, then you have the makings of a good upsell. If it's going to be faster, but they're going to have to work harder, or they're going to have to put more time and energy in to get the result that they want, then that's not a great upsell offer, because that's just telling them, hey, if you work harder, you can get it faster. We want to have the perception of you're going to take less time to get what you want, and with this less time, you're not going to have to put as much in because we're going to be doing more of the heavy lifting for you. So now let's go through a couple of examples of what this could actually look like. And the very first one deals with if you're selling just a basic course. And let's say your course is $47 to $97 and it's solving problem A. Well, a great upsell would be offering another small product that solves problems B, C, and D, aka the next steps in whatever their process is, or offering them a full-blown implementation plan that takes care of the whole next stage. So for example, if we were offering a product that was about growing a YouTube channel, the next upsell offer could be something about how to use YouTube ads to accelerate that growth, or a full-blown implementation program on how to not only use YouTube ads, but also build an entire business off the back of a YouTube channel. Or if we were doing something in the fitness niche and our first product was a particular workout series or weight training exercises, the upsell could be something about nutrition or mobility training or a particular supplement or protein powder that could go along and complement whatever the initial workout plan was. Now, the next type of upsell we have is the content medium, where you change the speed with which someone can go through the content. And this pretty much applies if you're offering some sort of written or PDF form information course. And so what you can do is you can offer an audio, or you can offer a full-blown video course of the same content. And this is the only place where you can have pretty much the same product back to back. And the reason that you can do this is because there's a higher perceived value in taking the time to make an audio or taking the time to actually put together a video presentation versus just having an ebook. So if you're trying to sell a ebook for less than $10 and you want to quickly try and increase that transaction value, well then offering a narration of the book with some bonus, behind the scenes audio or bonus commentary, or just offering a course version, a video version of the book with, again, a little bit of bonus content, then that makes sense because you're allowing them to consume the content faster and easier than sitting down and reading your ebook. Now, the next type is a done-for-you solution where they purchase an implementation program or they purchase a course. I don't recommend doing this with something really small like an ebook because this is going to be way too big of a jump. But essentially you say, hey, you know what? You bought the course, you have all the information. Do you want us to just do it for you? And you get to keep the course. Heck, we'll even train someone on your team so they can do it. And this is a great upsell because it follows the upsell formula flawlessly. Time, well, you just shrank that to almost nothing because you're doing everything. And work, you also shrink that to pretty much nothing because you're doing all of it. So you take away all the time and you take away all the work they have to do because you or your team member is going to do the work for them. So this is a fantastic upsell, especially if you're selling some sort of information product that is a higher ticket offer and it's not going to be as crazy of a jump to having services. Now, the final one is a subscription. And so this is going to apply if you have services or if you have a digital business. So the first example we have here is if you're some sort of services business. Maybe you're a web developer setting up websites, you're an agency like myself, you're setting up ad campaigns or you're setting up sales funnels. And there's some sort of one-time fee, and then what you can do is during either the proposal process or the offboarding process, you offer some sort of service subscription. So for example, a WordPress developer would say, hey, you know what, we can monitor your site, fix anything that's broken, make sure it's always up to date and running for X amount a month. Or if you typically have a month-to-month type of contract, well, you can offer a discount on that month-to-month contract if they buy a specific amount of months at a time. So instead of going month to month, you could say, hey, if you pay 3 months now, we'll knock off 25 or 30%. And this is great if you're a services-based business because you want to keep that relationship going with that client and you want to stay top of mind so that when they do have another project or they do have a problem that needs solving, they're already paying you, so they're much more likely to come to you. And even if it's out of the scope of what's being paid for, you got the right of first rejection in terms of the new project versus doing a project and then trying to just keep top of mind when they're not actually paying you for a subscription. Now, what you can do with a digital product is offer a monthly mastermind. And so this is a great way to scale your time while still providing something that is one-on-one. So you can have a private membership website where people can submit their questions, and then you can either hop on an audio, or I recommend hopping on a video and answering people's questions. And then that way, people are able to have direct access to you or your team without having to pay the hefty price of consulting calls, which is the last type of upsell that I recommend you do. And of course, this is just going to be dependent upon your particular business. But even if you're doing services or you're doing some sort of information product, offering consulting calls is actually one of the fastest ways to create an upsell because you literally make it out of thin air, right? There's no preparation at all. You just go ahead and say, hey, you know what, 3 or 4 consulting calls for this price, and you just add it to whatever funnel you already have, and you see if anyone takes you up on it. And that's definitely where I recommend you start if you're just starting to experiment with this whole upsell thing. So thank you so much for watching. I sincerely hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth marketing tactics and strategies, just like the ones covered in this video. And until the next, keep building the business you love.